On a Tunnel Master computer, each board can handle 24 functions. The sequence of events is from the entrance of the car wash through to the exit. This being the first panel, we're running from 1 through 12 and then 13 to 24. We start off with the conveyor, which is the first thing that's got to happen to start up. Our wraparounds are interlocked to the conveyor, so whenever we start the conveyor up, the wraparounds come on immediately and they're in the retracted position. If the wraparound or the conveyor have a low oil signal sent to them because they have a problem, it'll shut down the entire system. So if you come to your car wash that's installed properly and you're operating fine and all of a sudden everything shuts down, two places to check are your wraparound power packs or your conveyor power packs to check for a low oil level. Because either one of those will stop your operation and you won't be able to wash cars. Roller up is the next item that happens. Then we start with our pre-soak, sides, top, our wheel applicators, our foamers, our wrap foamers right through the tunnel. So it's easy to check and follow your sequence. If you're looking for something that's midway down, look midway down, find top brush or tire or triple foam. We press menu, we press 3 for configure, we press 2 for outputs, and then from here, if we know we want to go to a certain function, and let's go to pre-soak sides, it's number 3, we press 3 and enter, and it brings up our output number 3, which is our pre-soak sides. And this is set up on an inches basis, so right now it's told to start at 0006, which is 6 inches. And that means that we want that unit to start 6 inches after the vehicle breaks the entrance eye. And on this system, that's as close as we can make that start. The type has a couple different options. On this one here, the type is M. And if we press enter, our cursor will flash between them. On this one here, we have M. If we do our space, we can go, M is mandatory, which means it'll go on for every vehicle. S is selective, means it'll only go on for the vehicles we select it to. D is deprogrammable, which is how we sometimes set up our wraparounds. It'll work for every car, come in and do an operation on every vehicle unless we hit it and program it not to, then it'll stop doing what it was doing for that specific vehicle. We call that deselective. We have rear half of the vehicle. We only want an operation to happen on just the back half of the vehicle. Center, all car, and back to mandatory again. And part means AC is all car for the entire car. FB is front bumper. FH is front half. RH is rear half. RB is rear bumper. TA is a tire applicator. ES is an extended service. And then back to all car. So in this situation here, this is set up for all car. We're not asking it to flash. It's not a light or an extra service light. That's what we use our flash option. We do have an extend on it for 24 inches. And that's because we're starting it earlier. We need to keep it on to finish the side of the vehicle. We don't have a look back because it's chemical. We don't want it to spray until the next car gets there. We want it to go off and on when everything finishes. It's not in our wet down program because if we want to just run a wet down sequence, we don't want to waste chemical. We just want water and reclaim water. And it's not in a panic mode, so it'll stay running. Okay, that one's all set there. We'll take a look at a tire function, which will go to our CTA, which will be 2. Go number 5. Okay, and our tire function again is set up for, it is 10 inches from the entrance eye. It's mandatory because we're doing it on every car. It's set up as a TA, which is a tire application. It doesn't flash. It has an extend of 8 inches, so we're going to make it spray in that situation for 8 inches. It starts 10 inches from the time the eye breaks, so when the wheel gets there, it'll spray for 8 inches of travel on the conveyor, which will give us from the front of the tire to the back of the tire. It won't look back, it doesn't have a panic, doesn't have anything else on there. So that's how we make that adjustment. Go down and look at number 2, a wrap retract, 13, 14, 15. Our wrap retract is one of the items that we set at deprogrammable or deselective. So it's set up, the first wraparound is 34 inches from the front of the eyes where we want it to come in, so it comes in a little earlier. It's actually positioned about 60 inches from the eye, but we want it to be in front of the car ready to wash, so we tell it to come on at 34 inches. It's set up as deselective, which means it's going to come in front of every car to wash every car, and then only if we tell it not to, because of a broken power antenna or some damaged trim, if we select the retract switch on our entrance keypad, instead of coming in to wash that car, it'll just stay out and not do it. And that's what the deselective means. It's an all-car function. It has an extend on it because we have to extend beyond the length of the vehicle. You have to remember on some of these items, we have to wash the entire vehicle, and even if the piece of equipment is longer and it takes 6 feet to act, we need to have an extension on there to make it do the whole thing. Especially with a tire brush or a tire shine machine, we need to come in front of the vehicle, 3 feet in front of the car to be ready to process the vehicle. But because the brush length is 8 feet long, we need to extend 8 feet past the rear of the vehicle or the rear tire to completely dress that tire. So a couple of different functions you have to pay attention to. Now, those are certainly only a few items and a few features of the computer, a few key points on how to program certain types of operations, and a couple of different types of operations being the selective, deselective, and tire functions. This will hopefully help you make some fine-tune adjustments to your computer or have a better understanding of it when you talk to one of your service techs on the phone and they want to walk you through a function change or an operational change. On the basic keypad for the Tunnel Master Junior, we're able to program in our 3 package washes, then our a la carte extra services. We have extra charge for vans and trucks. We talked about our wrap retract, okay, to pull them off the vehicle. We also have a top brush retract that'll retract the top brush on the entire vehicle. We have a blower off in case we have a truck bed that's full of trash, grass clippings we don't want to take off there. Emitter off if we have someone that wants a touchless or a less touch wash for damage or just safety. We also have what we call as a truck bed retract for the top brush. This will allow the top brush to wash the front of the vehicle, the hood, the windshield, the roof, and then at that point retract and stay out of the bed. So we have a couple different functions there. And all these are tied directly to the computer, and whenever you press these, they activate based on the programming of the computer itself for a safer operation.